This is KGW News at Sunrise.
My roots are very deep in Oregon.
Gone, but certainly not forgotten. Oregon businessman Jerry Frank has died, but his influence on this state will go down in history.
Plus, another downtown business is talking about leaving downtown. What the owner of Mimi's Fresh Teas says her next plan might be. Plus,
also changing the narrative, a local high school student shows the importance of diversity with her passion for writing. We'll bring her story to you coming up in just a little bit.
it is a Monday morning here at the Sunrise Show. We all got one less hour of sleep this weekend than we were supposed to get. Rod, this time yesterday, waking up with that 1 hour less sleep and all that wind, all that rain. What are we looking at today, weather-wise?
Real quick, let me share a secret. The key to not losing an hour's sleep is to work, but forget to set your clock and then get to work an hour later than you wanted to, which is what I did yesterday.
You following that, Brenda?
We have been talking about this all last week, Rodney.
I was laughing at myself. I can't believe I forgot to change my clock. All right, we have rainy areas out there. It's mostly light stuff falling right now between Salem and Portland. And it's going to be raining today more than not, so be prepared for that as you get yourself ready for your day. 47 is a comfortable temperature. Currently to the bus stop we go. 40's out the door. Still mostly light rain around noon, 51 degrees. Eventually later this afternoon into this evening, the rain will pick up and get heavier. Storm front comes in overnight tonight. Kids get out of school, it'll be about 54 degrees, guys.
Thank you, Rod. We begin this morning with the legacy of a man who helped make Oregon what it is today. Jerry Frank died Sunday at the age of 98.
His impact on the state and the legacy he leaves behind are both undeniable. Galen Etlin has more.
Take it from the man himself.
My roots are very deep in Oregon.
Generations dating back to before Oregon was a state. Jerry Frank's great-great-grandfather walked to Portland from California in the 1800s.
And established a one-man store.
That became the Meyer and Frank department store.
Brings back so many wonderful memories.
It's unparalleled in Oregon history.
Kerry Timchuk is executive director of the Oregon Historical Society.
There will never be another Jerry Frank.
And a friend of Jerry's.
His story is just such an American one. A World War II veteran, then returned to work in the family business, and then into public service.
Jerry ran Meyer and Frank until it was sold in the 60s, then served his friend Governor Mark Hatfield as chief of staff when Hatfield went to D.C. as Oregon senator.
Adapting to the needs of the people.
And you can't forget the cake. Jerry served as the sole judge of the chocolate cake contest at the Oregon State Fair for 60 years.
A lot of years and a lot of cakes.
More than 100 cakes in a day sometimes. 2 bites each, by the way.
The key to long life, chocolate cake.
And that's what Jerry said, chocolate.
Jerry was also a writer, sharing the state's best sights and food for the Oregonian. Oh, but also,
he's the author of the best-selling guidebook to New York City in history.
No matter where travel took him,
Oregon was the love of his life.
Jerry always came home. His philanthropy helping raise $500 million for organizations here, including Providence, home to the Jerry Frank Center for Children's Care at St. Vincent Medical Center.
You could look in every corner of Oregon, and if there was something good happening, Jerry was somehow involved.
The Rotary Club of Salem dedicated its amphitheater to Jerry last year. Governor Kate Brown said in a statement, "For decades to come, Oregonians and others will be able to learn about a person who contributed so much to this great state we call home."
What message do you hope his legacy can carry forward?
One person can make a difference. He made a difference in so many ways, for so many people, for so many causes, for so many communities, just through sheer willpower and enthusiasm and perseverance.
And gratitude for a life lived to the fullest.
How many people have that wonderful opportunity?
In Portland, I'm Galen Etlin for KGW News.
We'll take a look back at Jerry Frank's life again next hour here on Sunrise. But right now we want to get to 2 more morning headlines. The first involves the U.S. House and the U.S. Senate passing a massive $64.1 billion budget. And now Washington and Oregon will receive some of that money to protect native fish in the Columbia River. $892,000 will be given to the Department of Fish and Wildlife to remove sea lions from the river and its tributaries. A law was passed back in 2018 giving tribal members and government fish managers the authority to kill the animals. It was passed after reports of the sea lions ravaging steelhead to the brink of extinction in Willamette Falls. Since then, the numbers of fish have grown, but the sea lions keep coming back. And our second headline here is out of Forest Grove. Forest Grove Fire sent us this information from their Twitter page saying that winds caused some limbs to fall, also knocked down power lines. You see the picture right there. So the bottom line is this: we're going to see a lot more rain over the next couple of days. This is a good reminder to never approach a down power line. And those are some of your Monday morning headlines.
As gun violence in Portland rises, more police officers are assisting victims before medical help arrives. Catherine Cook talked to two officers who saved someone's life.
All we knew for certain was that somebody had been shot.
Portland police officers Justin Raphael and Tyler Wyatt.
So we don't know at this point if the shooter's still there.
Are used to walking into the unknown. But on the night of March 8th, just one thing was certain.
It is clear that he is in grave condition. He's going in and out of consciousness.
A young man lay dying in a pool of his own blood, a bullet in his thigh through his femoral artery.
That is a grave wound that will kill you within a matter of minutes if untreated.
It happened on Southeast 92nd near Powell Boulevard. There had been gunshots and calls to 911. When the officers got there, about a dozen people yelled for help and motioned them over to the victim. He was lying outside an apartment doorway with a gun on the ground nearby.
We did not know where the shooter was, but we have to make a decision to sacrifice kind of our own safety in those moments and go into this scene to begin to save a life.
The officers drew on their police bureau medical training. They all carry these individual first aid kits. Officer Wyatt reached for the hemostatic gauze designed to stop the bleeding.
Yeah, I carry this on my belt.
While Officer Wyatt packed the wound, Officer Raphael applied a tourniquet.
At one point, he just asked if I'd hold his hand, which was a pretty intense moment. And I did. I held his hand and I just told him, hey, keep squeezing my hand, stay with me.
He held the man's hand, even as medics loaded him into the ambulance minutes later. Minutes the officer's first aid bought them.
I think that gets lost on a lot of people, that sometimes as officers, we're the first component of that emergency aid.
Police say last year, 388 people in Portland were injured by gunfire. 90 of them died. This year, already 66 people have been hurt by gun violence, including the man these officers helped save. They haven't heard from him since, but they hope he hears this.
I'm glad you're still with us. I would do it again, and I'm happy you're here.
Officers have not made any arrests in this case. It's still an open investigation. If you have any information, you're asked to call the Portland Police Bureau. In Southeast Portland, Catherine Cook, KGW News.
We know Portland's Old Town neighborhood has been one of the hardest hit by gun violence and other crimes the past few years, and one local business says it's time for them to get out. We're talking about Mimi's Fresh Teas. They made a name for themselves with their Love Over Hate t-shirts that really became a symbol during Portland's protests back in the summer of 2020. The owner opened up a storefront in Old Town, but now she says she is tired of the trash and the crime there, and she wants to leave. The Old Town community just announced a 90-day plan to clean up the neighborhood last week, but the owner of Mimi's Fresh Teas says if it doesn't go well, she's packing up.
I really do hope that they continue to do that to just to help and support a lot of businesses down here in Old Town. You know, this is a rich cultural district, and I just feel strongly that we all deserve better than what I have seen on the streets down here.
Again, that's the owner of Mimi's Fresh Teas, who also told us she's considering moving to another downtown location or heading out to the suburbs.
Oh boy, with all the tough news that we've been through lately, we also have to celebrate the wins, and Portland's Shamrock Run, definitely one of those. The rain didn't dampen runners' spirits one bit. Liam the Leprechaun was out there. Everybody's super excited to have this event back live in person and maskless for a change. Look at them go. More than 15,000 runners from 19 countries and 46 states were decked out in green as they took off from Waterfront Park. For many, it was a chance to get back out there in the community.
the same weekend that the mask mandates are going away. Everything just feels really full circle. From the start of the pandemic, we can finally see the light at the end of the tunnel for the end of the pandemic.
More St. Patrick's Day events are scheduled a little later this week, including Kell's Big Party on Thursday in the Pearl District. Okay, if we hop across town, Northeast Portland held its 33rd annual St. Patrick's Day Parade, complete with those bagpipes. The event was back in the Grant Park neighborhood after a 2-year pandemic break. Marchers included the Royal Rosarians, the Cub Scouts, and those fire trucks, as well as some police cars. Everybody was rolling down the street. Little soggy, lots of rain gear out there yesterday. Are we going to need that again today, Rod?
Yes, widespread light rain, mostly light rain falling out there right now. And then if you have plans for later this afternoon, early this evening, that's when the rain starts to get heavier. Front comes in about 1 a.m. overnight tonight. So here's the surge of moisture and the brighter highlighted white clouds back here. That's the heavier rain that will be coming in, as I mentioned, later today and this evening. So far we've seen the rain feed through parts of the gorge, the Columbia Basin. Here it is right now, a big chunk of rain offshore from Long Beach. Portland down to Salem and down to Albany, it's pretty much a steady light rain falling right now. So again, more than not when you're out and about, it's going to be raining outside. Here are the temperatures. 47 in Portland, 45 in Newport, 41 in Bend. So really a pretty comfortable start thanks to the cloud cover that we have up top. So I'm just going to start Futurecast later today at 5:30 when the rain starts a little heavier. Here you can see in yellow and the darker green shade. So that comes in for this evening. This shows some breaks in the rain this evening, which probably does not happen. And then here's the heavier rain band coming in after midnight, 1:30. That's the main front. All of that clears, I think, by sunrise tomorrow morning. And then Tuesday is your typical, maybe some sun breaks, maybe not, but scattered showers following that front. You can see them right there. And some heavier showers mixed in. Temperatures, not going to do a whole lot today. We're mid to upper 40s right now. We'll be low 50s in Salem, Corvallis, and McMinnville. South winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. Vancouver and Portland maybe get up to about 54 today. Again, southeasterlies 5 to 15. Here come your 7-day numbers. So today 54. The heavier rain is later today and this evening. Tomorrow scattered stuff. Wednesday's dry, clouds to sun. Still thinking maybe we see a shower Thursday. Maybe we stay dry. And then Friday's dry. So that's pretty nice weather Wednesday through Friday. Cold front Saturday morning. We get your next weekend off to a wet start. And then I think spring starts on Sunday.
I think you're right, Rod.
Mr. Carney's more on top of that stuff than I am.
Is it not Saturday?
I thought it was the 20th on Sunday.
We'll arm wrestle over that before we see you again. How about that? Okay. Definitely next weekend for sure. And this story definitely coming up in our next segment of Sunrise. It's about a local kid who's making some big moves in the book business. We're going to hear her story going from volunteer to author and now publisher. Again, that story is coming up in just a few minutes.